Good morning, everyone. This is Daughter of Yahweh. Today is Thursday, April 6th, 2023. I hope everyone is okay and blessed of the Lord and doing well on this morning. I am coming before you to do a quick video on something that has recently happened. Uh, what has happened is that Bob Lee was fatally stabbed in San Francisco. He was the creator of Cash App. He's listed as the founder of Cash App. Um, I found his death to be very strange because he was just randomly stabbed um, while walking on the street. Um, and it's the whole thing to me is just suspicious. It wasn't said that anyone had tried to rob him or anything like that. He was just stabbed and then he died. And I'm looking at this because it's just it's too much of a coincidence that his death is so close to the recent bank collapses. And I previously did a video where I had a dream concerning Oprah, where I could tell she was being targeted, or she wasn't being targeted. The thought process was there. Someone was looking to see how could they sabotage her. And so I also mentioned how some of these celebrities or wealthy people can be targeted because of the situation that's going on in this country. I said before, this country is broke. So I'm going to move on and continue to talk about, what I looked at last night and what I found. I went through a couple of articles and did some research and did some reading because I had never heard of the founder of Cash App before yesterday. So the incident happened on April 4th. He was the founder of Cash App. And I was wondering, was he still earning money from Cash App? If so, how much? That was my question. So I began to keep reading. And I noticed that his death is occurring exactly 2 years, well, not exactly, but still 2 years after Jay-Z is added to the board of directors in 2021. Uh, Later on in that same year, December of 2021, Square Inc. changed its name to Block Inc. And I didn't know that. I thought that was kind of strange, being that that was done after Jay-Z was added to the board of directors. So if he was still earning from Cash App, no more money paid, is that how it works? Is that what's going on? And so I kind of heard the words block the investor. I heard the words block the investor. So, um, like I said, I'm not going to spell it out word for word, but I believe that his death, he was definitely targeted. He was targeted. And I Googled Block Inc. and I just happened to notice the figures that are attached to this company right now. This is from the New York Stock Exchange. Um, and there's the 666 right there at the top of the page. So the other thing that I was trying to understand is that, because I don't understand how everything works as far as business is concerned. So I learned that Cash App is owned by Block Inc., but Lee is credited as the founder. So, in my mind, what does that really mean? Does that mean that he was still getting some type of income off of Cash Inc. at this point, although he was no longer with the company. He left. I read that he left the company Square before it was called Block Inc. So that was my question. I was still trying to figure out what was going on with that. And then I found this page. This was called Investor Relations, and they had. I found it strange that this is supposed to be a current page where you could see what today's stock was worth for the Block Inc. company, which is $67.66. And that was current. The date is on here somewhere. Yes, it says April 5th. That was the date. That was yesterday. And for some reason, the advertisement for their investor Block Investor Day from last year is on a current page, and the 2022 date is on here. And I just felt like, that was kind of strange. um I just got some strange vibes from doing some of this research, and I never wanted to discuss this, but I'm going to go ahead and do it. 222 is a death number. Yahweh revealed this to me some years ago, and I'm one of those people. From time to time, I'll see 222, and 222 represents some type of death or some type of um, something that's getting ready to happen. I remember right before COVID hit, almost every gas station around me, the gas price was 222. And this went on for weeks. I constantly saw 222 before COVID. And so I just think that being that this was a current page and it's dated April 5th, why would it have an outdated date on here for a Block Investor Day 2022? That just didn't make sense to me. I know that the elites use this number to communicate what they're getting ready to do. They use this number a lot. And another clue is, I dare you to just Google the poison control number. It's nothing but twos. So I know that this is a number that they use. They use numbers to communicate, just like God uses numbers to communicate. And so I found it interesting on this website. It says Block Inc. is Square, Cash App, Spiral, Tidal. I don't know what TBD is. And our foundational teams such as counsel, finance, and people that provide guidance at the corporate level. So I was unaware. First of all, I didn't know that Square was changed to Block. And then I did not know that Block also included, other than Square and Cash App, Tidal. So that was a shock to me. I don't keep up with certain things. I've heard of Tidal. I've heard some things about it, but it's just, I didn't keep up with what it was. So that caused me to be even more curious and to keep reading. So I came across a Rolling Stone article which says Square buys Tidal, names Jay-Z to board of directors. So basically, what I learned is that Jay-Z owned Tidal. And so when Square invested their money into Tidal and bought a huge portion of it, because of Jay-Z's position and ownership in the company, they brought him onto the board of directors for Square, which is now Block Inc. So it says the moves follow Square announcing in March, this is 2021, guys, that it would acquire a majority stake in Jay-Z's premium music service Tidal for $297 million. On Friday, Square said it completed the Tidal acquisition on April 30th for $302 million. So that's just a little information on what happened with with this deal and how it went through. And I found it strange that I found some conflicting information about even this deal. So this says on March, and this looks like this is coming from Wikipedia. On March 2nd, 2021, it was announced that financial technology company Square Inc. had reached an agreement to acquire majority ownership of Tidal. Square would pay $297 million in cash and stock for Tidal, and Jay-Z would have a board position. Jay-Z and other artists who own stocks in Tidal would remain stakeholders. And so that's the part that is kind of weird to me too, because obviously they didn't remain stakeholders as I began to read. So these were some of the original owners. It says 16 owners, but then later on I found out that before the deal they were paid off, so that Jay-Z was basically the only owner right before Square or Block Inc. or whatever, right before Square Inc. Put their money forward. So the other thing, as I began to keep reading it, just all of a sudden, I guess I must have Googled Tidal or whatever, learning more about the company, and I noticed it was Pharrell's birthday on April 5th. And I didn't know that he had anything to do with Tidal either. It says that he is the senior manager of hip hop, R&B, I guess for Tidal. So I found that strange too, that his birthday, it just happens to be that this man died the day before his birthday. And we know that, weird things happen, and it's just too much of a coincidence for me. So, as of January of last year, according to Vox, Jay-Z owns 20%, and Square has majority ownership, which is 80% of Tidal. Okay. And I noticed that it asked, how much did Jay-Z pay for Tidal? $56 million. So if that's the case, he made a major profit off of this deal. And how convenient, for it to be 2 years later and the founder of Cash App is no more. So it says all 16 co-owners of Tidal reportedly received $8.9 million payout following Jay-Z's recent deal. Okay? So they were paid off before that deal was made. So if they were paid off, maybe, I'm not sure how much of a profit he really made. I'm not sure. I haven't done the math. I hadn't even thought about that. But the whole thing is just strange anyway, as far as how it just seems like when someone dies, Jay-Z is somewhere in the background. Jay-Z is somewhere around. And I'm not saying that, Jay-Z is the reason why this man is dead. I'm just saying there's a certain presence. There's a certain person or a certain presence around who's tied to wickedness. And then all of a sudden this person is no more, or something tragic has happened to certain people. So like I mentioned before, this man's death, here it is, not too soon after the banks collapse. Now this man's death, very suspicious timing. He was next. So that answered my question from a previous video. Was it going to be Oprah or was it going to be someone else? But I was leaning more, when I saw my dream, I was leaning more towards someone being in the news, as far as losing money. I didn't want to get too far into the death scenario because I didn't see death in my dream. So, but it still lets me know that people are going to be targeted. Um, People who are wealthy are going to be targeted. And I can't help but see that this man's death is just he was a target. This has to do with money. And money has to be uh redistributed because like I said, this country is broke and there's some money grabbing going on. And I noticed that right away, right after I heard about his death, the next thing I heard was that Elon Musk and I can't remember if someone else made a comment about the crime in that area. I guess they were trying to say the crime has gone up, and they're trying to get people to not see that this man's death is suspicious. I've never heard of anyone just, being randomly stabbed to death for no reason. I'm not buying it, and I'm pretty sure other people aren't buying it either. The other strange thing that I read when it says at the end of this paragraph, it says it couldn't be determined why Mr. Lee was back in San Francisco. Apparently, Mr. Lee sold his home. Um, he sold his home and he moved to Florida with his father. He was living in California and he sold a mansion there. And he left his family behind in California. And I felt like that was strange because this was done less than a year ago. This was done in 2022. I can't remember which month that this happened in. And it says Lee had moved to Miami late last year, but was in town for the Mobile Coin Leadership Summit last week and was staying a few nights extra to see friends. So, one article said they didn't know. Well, I saw multiple articles that said that they didn't know why he was back in San Francisco. But all of a sudden, then I found this one stating why, and I found that to be kind of strange because that should not have been hard to find or figure out. So, yeah, I'm not going to read all of this because I don't want this video to be too much longer. But I just found, a few things kind of strange. So, right. So his net worth, according to this article, would be at 10 million. Um, and it says while his exact salary is not disclosed to the media at this time, he was a high-profile tech executive and angel investor in San Francisco. While working at Square, Bob co-founded Cash App in 2013, a mobile payment app that is available both in the US and UK. And I found that strange that this article says co-founded. When you research or type in his name, he comes up as the founder of Cash App, not the co-founder. But my lack of understanding in this situation is how is it that Block Inc. has seemed to have full ownership of Cash App. And from the other articles, because I didn't include everything into this video, the other articles that I've read, it just sounded like Bob Lee designed this whole Cash App thing. So how is it that he doesn't own it? I guess because he was working for uh, Square Inc. at the time. But yeah, there's a lack of information on how he created Cash App, but Block Inc. still owns it. So I found it strange that this says he co-founded when all the other sources say he's the founder. So his net worth was at 10 million. And it says all of these earnings came from his long and illustrious career in the tech world. So yeah, again, I'm not going to read through everything, but I noticed that Cash App, and this may not be the right article, but because I can't post everything in this video because I found so much information. But I noticed that Cash App brought in the most money for Block Inc. in comparison to Tidal Square and all the other companies that have been attached on to Block Inc. Cash App brought in the majority of the money. So that's something to think about. And I think this is my last screenshot of what I was reading concerning this guy. This man sold his home. He left his family in California and moved to Florida with his dad before his death. And to me, that's strange because who leaves their family to go clear across the country like that? And he was separated from his wife. Who would do that? I mean, I know people have situations and things change and people get divorced and all of that stuff, but it doesn't say he was divorced. It just says, that he was separated. But either way, I just found it strange that he moved clear across the country before his death. We're not going to know everything because this guy is just, he's not one of those people that have been in the spotlight. So what's strange is while I was putting this video together, I took screenshots of the articles that I wanted to use to discuss this topic concerning his move. And the screenshots mysteriously went missing and I was running out of time. It got late and I just didn't feel like going back and really searching really hard for what I saw, because I did go back and Google and tried to find the articles and they would not pull up. So that's strange. And some weird things did start going on my phone, of course, while I was reading and researching. So my screenshots, and I took several screenshots on this topic, and all of a sudden those screenshots are missing. But it's like I said, yet this anomaly, I guess I can call it. This is strange that he left his family and moved to Miami, and then he comes back for a visit, and all of a sudden he's no longer here. So that's the end of my video. I just wanted to cover the strangeness and give my thoughts on this man's death. I would not be surprised if some months from now or whenever that we hear of some more strange incidences with wealthy people, whether it be wealth or celebrity type people. But anyway, I just want to thank you all for listening to this video. This is the end of my message. Please like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next video. Have a blessed day.